Beyonce telling me to kill it. That'd be huge now. If I could open up for Beyonce now. We switch it around, you know? But yeah, that's always definitely something fun to look back at. If I get to build with you, then chill for 5 minutes and exchange a little, you know, your music's amazing, thank you for doing what you do, and maybe we can get together and do something. I mean, that's always incredible.
It's 25, 26 years later, and you know what I mean, I still haven't been paid a check for my records. You know what I'm saying?
I know, so Babyface was Big Red. I told you,
we gotta work some things out.
So y'all know how the Bayhive is always going wild over Beyonce and JayZ, right? Everyone sees them as the ultimate power couple, like the blueprint. But what if I told you JayZ wasn't even the first one in line for Bey? Yep, rumor has it he wasn't the first guy trying to shoot his shot. That honor allegedly goes to someone y'all probably forgot about, Jon B. Yeah, that Jon B, the smooth R&B heartthrob from the 90s, the guy with the silky voice who gave us hits like They Don't Know and Someone to Love. But here's where it gets juicy. JayZ wasn't about to let anyone else lock things down with Beyonce. According to some tea, he played it smart and waited it out. And when Jon B started talking a little too much about his past with Beyonce, Jay allegedly stepped in and shut it all the way down. Now, Jon B is back, speaking up again, and some of y'all might be like, wait, who? Well, guess that industry blacklisting worked a little too well. So let's break this all down, the love story that almost was, and how Jay might have played a role in keeping Jon B out of the spotlight. It all started when an old interview resurfaced. In it, Jon B made some eyebrow-raising comments about Beyonce back in the day. And let me tell you, it didn't sit right with people. This was the late 90s, Destiny's Child was still up and coming, and Jon B was at the top of his game, touring and hanging out with them. Apparently, he was paying a lot of attention to young Beyonce, who was only 16 at the time. In the interview, he casually mentioned touring with Destiny's Child and hinted that he was looking at Bey like, who you? And the way he said it, nervous chuckle, finger pointing, it definitely rubbed folks the wrong way.
If you think about Beyonce in the beginning of her career, so I was looking at little 16, 17-year-old Beyonce, just like, you know, like, I'm sorry, but because I'm a grown man at the time, it's kind of wrong, but you know, you already know.
And yo, it got worse because there are even rumors that Jagged Edge allegedly forced themselves towards Beyonce while she was still a teen. Nothing officially had ever been proven, but people have connected some very uncomfortable dots.
I mean, this is a type of exposure that these ladies had at a very, very early age.
But you know who really wasn't feeling any of this? Mr. JayZ himself. Yep, word around the industry is that Hub made sure Jon B quietly disappeared from the mainstream spotlight. And let's be honest, for a second, some of y'all probably had to Google Jon B before even clicking this video. That alone says a lot, because back in the day, Jon B aka Mr. White Chocolate was everywhere. His music was all over the radio, he was working with legends like Tupac, and his fanbase, solid. But now, it's like he completely vanished. No A-list connections, no big industry comeback, no major revival like a lot of other R&B stars from that era. And if the whispers are true, Jay might have had something to do with that.
Got the same beat tape, you know, in for Pac, and I saw Pac, met him, saw Casey and JoJo in there, Johnny J, you know, rest in peace as well. He was the one who made the beat for Are You Still Down? He produced the beat.
That was one of Tupac's main producers.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it's true, at least according to some insiders. Word is, JayZ was pulling strings behind the scenes to make sure Jon B didn't get the industry support he needed to stay in the spotlight. If that's the case, it really seems like Jay was doing everything he could to make sure he was the only one next to Beyonce at the top. But here's where things get wild. Some people are calling JayZ a hypocrite for allegedly going after Jon B. Why? Because rumor has it Jay himself was messing with Beyonce back when she was still underage. Let's not forget, there's been years of speculation about when Jay and Bey actually got together. Officially, they say she was 19. But a lot of folks swear it started earlier. And if that's true, how is Jon B's situation any different? That's why people are giving this whole thing the side eye. Like, if Jay was so bothered by an older guy showing interest in young Beyonce, then why did he allegedly do the same exact thing?
Oh, I gotta ask. I mean, a lot of people think, yes, these two are together. What's going on?
Did Beyonce date anyone before JayZ? Technically, yeah, but the only photo we ever really see of her with another guy is her prom pic. And that's not by accident. If there's one thing JayZ has always been good at, it's controlling the narrative. Beyonce has been with JayZ for so long that people forget she actually had a dating life before him. And let's be real, Jay made sure those old flames stayed out of the spotlight. The one name we do know is Linda Locke, her high school sweetheart. They were together for years, and he's even talked in interviews about how it ended. He gave off some soft vibes, but basically said that as Beyonce's career took off, the relationship slowly faded, no drama, just two people growing apart. But Linda wasn't the only guy tied to Bey. There were whispers about her being linked to a few other dudes in the industry-rumored flings with Marcus Houston, who's known for liking M. Young, Munstaff, Sisk, Sean Paul, and even Justin Timberlake. Yep, another white R&B guy whose career kind of fell off. Just like Jon B's. Coincidence? Some folks don't think so. And this is why people are giving JayZ the side eye when it comes to Jon B. Ever since that old clip of Jon talking about young Beyonce came back online, the internet's been dragging him. People are calling him creepy, inappropriate, and just weird. And with all the stories out there about how women get treated in the industry, folks aren't just letting it slide. Some even believe that interview is what pushed Jay to really make sure Jon B got blacklisted. And if you think that was bad, apparently that was just the beginning. Jon B's been through a lot in the music industry, way more than most people know. But don't worry, that's why I'm here. Because we're not just talking about the drama from back in the day, when people were side-eyeing Jon B for putting black women in his videos. Yeah, that was a whole thing. The industry wasn't feeling a white guy giving black women the spotlight, let alone marrying one. But trust me, there's way more to this story.
Married now 17 years.
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh, look. Your daughters are now 16 and 9.
Yeah, 10. Actually, she's 10.
Oh, she's 10 now.
Now here's one of the biggest bombshells, y'all. According to Jon B himself, he's never been paid for his own music. Yeah, you heard that right, no royalties, no big checks, nothing. And get this, rumor has it, JayZ might have had something to do with that too. In a jaw-dropping moment on the Joe Budden podcast, Jon B came right out and said he's never received a single check for his records. And y'all, when I tell you Joe was shook, man looked like he was about to walk out the room. He was like, nah, Jon, stop playing.
Jon B, shut up, man.
Nah.
Jon B.
No, they still have
Jon
to
B,
pay.
I will walk out of this room.
No,
Why do
they
you think
still-
he lying?
They still have to pay.
That sounds believable.
Every record?
That sounds believable.
Every record, bro.
Nah, there's some type of check.
No, I get checks because I do shows.
Jon B broke it down. Most of his money doesn't even come from his hit songs. It actually comes from doing live shows. So yeah, all those classics like Someone to Love, They Don't Know, Are You Still Down? He's never seen a dime from those tracks. Default Text Why? Well, according to Jon, he got locked into a really bad record deal. But here's the twist, some people are saying that the label kept him in that shady deal on purpose, and allegedly. JayZ might have had a hand in keeping Jon stuck and unpaid.
I don't get paid for my records.
No publishing, nothing?
I mean, it's not what it needs to be. You know what I mean? It's not right. None of that. It was more of like in the fine lines.
The fine print as a young man.
Print, like, oh well, in order for you to get paid, we have to recruit these other artists that we signed.
So with all that out in the open, let's start connecting the dots. Jon B had a really promising career, and he was working under Babyface's label. But here's the thing, Babyface later clarified that Jon wasn't actually signed directly to him, so it was all label politics behind the scenes. Now, JayZ has always had deep connections in the industry. And if the rumors are true, he might have played a part in making sure Jon B never had the chance to fight for his masters or get paid what he was owed. Like, think about it, why would a successful artist never see money from his own hits? Somebody had to make sure of that. And if they allegedly had a reason to push Jon B out of the picture, well, suddenly that whole Beyonce connection starts making a lot more sense, doesn't it?
I remember leaving there feeling like, oh man, about to go talk to Babyface, and really the rest was history. When I walked through the door, it was kind of like evident, okay, we need to be working together.
So here's the deal, Jon B admitted that the fine print in his contract is what really messed him up. And even now, he's still trying to clean it up. But here's the wild part. Allegedly, Jon B owns 100% of his music. That should mean he's at least getting a solid cut from publishing, right? But not he's getting some money, but nowhere near what he should be. And let's be real, I don't remember Babyface ever signing artists who wrote all their own music. Babyface is a legendary songwriter himself, so that's kinda rare. So now I'm wondering, was it really Jon B who wrote those songs, or did Babyface play a role? Drop your thoughts in the comments. But y'all, this is where it gets messy. This whole situation is the kind of shady stuff powerful industry insiders are known for. We all know artists getting screwed over in contracts is nothing new, but when an artist gets completely erased like this, that usually means someone big made it happen. And in this case, all fingers point at JayZ. And it gets worse. In 2015, Jon B got hit with a federal lawsuit from his former management company, GSM Entertainment Marketing. They signed him in September 2015 and immediately started working, lined up a whole tour for him with shows in Chicago, London, and other cities. He was getting love from fans again. But then the drama hit. GSM claimed Jon B refused to pay them for their work. They said he owed them over $30,000 in commissions, plus another $100,000 in recording costs for his upcoming album. And to top it off, Jon allegedly ghosted them. No calls, no emails, nothing. Now let's be real, disappearing on your team like that in the industry is a bad look. 1 minute, Jon B saying he's not getting paid for his music. Next minute, his own management is suing him for not paying them. Something's definitely not adding up. This lawsuit wasn't just about money, it made Jon's already fragile comeback way harder. Think about it. When an artist gets sued by their own team, no label, no manager, no promoter wants to touch them. And Jon B was already getting no love from the mainstream at this point. So if you connect the dots, it kind of feels like a bigger plan to keep him blacklisted. First, he allegedly gets pushed out of the game after that whole Beyonce situation. Then he gets stuck in a bad deal that keeps him from earning off his own music. And just when he tries to bounce back with a tour and a new album, boom, a lawsuit kills his momentum. Y'all see the pattern, because I do. And if you thought Jon B was just gonna fade quietly into the background after all this, nope. In 2024, he came back louder than ever, and this time he had smoke for two of today's biggest names, Gunna and Chloe Bailey. Jon went straight at them, claiming their 2020 To Track You and Me from Gunna's D as Forever album sampled they don't know without his permission. And this wasn't just a quiet, behind-the-scenes complaint either. Jon B was heated and made it clear how he felt. During an interview on the Can We Talk R&B podcast, he wasted zero time throwing shade. He straight up said he hated their version of the song and even went as far as to say he wished they never made it.
We talk about shit, no,
I love
but no, it does get sampled every year.
Sure.
You know, by someone. Last year was Gunna and Chloe Bailey.
That's right.
They put that ratchet record out that I couldn't stand.
But it didn't stop there, because Jon B also revealed that they never got permission to use his record in the first place. He put it out there that Gunna needed to holler at him because there was some business that needed to be handled. But let's pause for a second. Sampling is nothing new in the industry. Artists do it all the time, but there's a right way to do it. You either clear the sample and pay for it, or you risk getting sued. According to Jon B, Gunna and Chloe chose the second option. As soon as Jon B started airing things out, people had a lot to say. Some people were riding with him, and some saying that he had every right to be mad if this song got used without his permission. There are different levels to getting a sample cleared, and the business side of things can be complicated. So let's talk about it. This whole situation of Gunna and Chloe wasn't just about one song. This was about Jon B feeling like he had been getting played by the music industry for decades. First, he allegedly is getting blacklisted because of JayZ. Then, he never gets paid for his own music. Then, he gets sued by his management team, and now artists are allegedly using his music without cutting him no checks, them checks that he needs. At some point, the man's got to speak up, and Jon B finally did. But at the end of the day go in, and we may never fully know the truth about what really happened with Jon B, Beyonce, and JayZ. But one thing's for sure, two things for certain: Jay and B are still on top, and Jon B, well, let's just say his name doesn't hold the same weight it once did, because they don't know about Jon B. But if Jay really did play a part in that, then power moves are on another level. But what do y'all think about this? Did JayZ really blacklist Jon B to secure his place next to Beyonce, or is Jon B just another artist who fell off naturally? Let's talk about it in the comments, and smash that like button and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.